What's going on, everyone? I'm back today to do another video at a different location in the magazine room. Now, you're probably wondering, why am I in a different location? Well, for one, it gives us some new background material to look at, right? I mean, we can only look at those other magazines so much, so this gives us a chance to check out some new stuff. Plus, I'm doing this kind of as a joke, too. Yesterday, I had a buddy of mine come over named Roger, and he told me he was watching one of my videos, and his lady, Amanda, did not care too much for the underneath of my shelf where you can see the black extension cord. She said she didn't like that. It wasn't appealing enough, to see. It needed something there. She didn't like it. So I'm doing this now kind of as a joke. If Roger ends up seeing this, he can show Amanda, there you go, I'm not showing the black extension cord anymore underneath the shelving unit, because it's all hidden here by wrestling magazines that I have left over that I have no room for. So they're just stacked over here on the floor, kind of just, collecting dust, as most of my stuff does in this room. Now, the big story. The magazine you see in front of you here, the October 1995 WWF magazine, Sharpshooting with the Hitman, Bret shoots from the hip in an exclusive candid interview. There it is, Bret Hart getting ready to give a backbreaker to Jean-Pierre Lafitte. I always thought this cover seemed kind of lackluster to begin with. Why is Bret going to be giving a backbreaker to Jean-Pierre? He's holding him up. I don't know. It just seems like a weird cover. But at the time, I didn't really care because I was a 14-year-old kid, or teenager, I guess to say. And I was just happy to be buying the WWF magazines because I love the new generation era. Well, it wasn't until time went by when I found out that there was a variant to this magazine, and I only originally thought that it was for the United States of America to get, because that's all I ever saw it being sold on was eBay.com or eBay.ca through American sellers. Either way, I was going to have to get it from the good old US of A. I didn't want to do that for many reasons. One is I've done it before in the past with magazines, and the shipping prices is just ridiculous. And I don't know why. I don't know why it costs so much to ship something from one country to another when the majority of time the only thing separating our two countries between Canada and the USA is maybe, I don't know, an imaginary line or some sort of lake or river. And that's it. There's nothing. It's not like the United States of America is halfway across the country like, England is to us, or Australia, or, Japan and China and all that. No, the USA is right below us. Like it is. Like Canada's on top, USA's on the bottom. If anyone looks at a map, they would see that, right? Or a globe. But yet somehow shipping is ridiculous to send even something as simple as a wrestling magazine across the border to us Canadian folk. So I thought I was never going to get the variant magazine until, once again, my luck just happened to be there the other day. I went on eBay and saw that it got posted on ebay.ca. There it is. The Sharpshooting into Cyberspace. The October 1995 edition. Of course, the man behind the kid is at the top, and we have exclusive the man behind the 1-2-3 kid on the one with Bret with Jean-Pierre Lafitte. Now, someone asked me, it was Zeke Zanzibar, a good friend of mine, said, am I going to be angry or upset about the sticker on that magazine? And not really, and I'll tell you why. I think it's kind of cool because it gives a history of where that magazine was, of who owned it, and who got to experience it, and who got to read it, and who got to have it in their collection. And this one went to Mrs. T. Campbell, so out of New Brunswick. So Mrs. T. Campbell was the recipient of this magazine. I'm guessing it probably wasn't for her. It was probably for her son or daughter. I doubt that she was collecting them. Maybe she was, but I'm sure it was probably just under her name, because when she ordered them for her, to come in, it has to be under an adult, probably not a teenager or child doing that. So there it is. I have it now with the sticker on it. And like I said, it doesn't really bug me too much. And if I happen to come across this magazine again without the sticker, sure, I'd probably buy it, because of course I want to have everything as perfect as I can. But whatever, I'm not going to flip out too much. The cool thing about this, though, is the cards are intact. And if everyone remembers this, in 1995 through 1996, and maybe even into early 1997, the WWF magazines would put in 9 cards in all their magazines, and you could collect them all and build a set. It even has the mail away card in there still. If it goes back in, there we go. Whatever, just stay out then. Wow, I'm botching that one, aren't I? There we go. All right. So let me fix that now. So yeah, they would have the cards in there to collect and to take out and build your set. And I never did that. Even when I bought them back in the day, I just left them in there. I didn't. It's weird, right? I remember. I know I sold my magazines, or did I sell? No, you know what? I actually threw out all my old WWF magazines. Yeah, I did, and I know why I did. It's because I was stupid in my early teen years, and as I got older, I ended up cutting out photos out of the magazines to like make collages of my favorites, like Diesel or Shawn Michaels, Bret Hart, British Bulldog, Owen Hart. I would Razor Ramon, Dean Douglas, when Dean was in there. I would cut them up and make collages, like a lot of kids did and a lot of teenagers did. That's kind of what we did. That was our art on the walls and such, and kind of what represented us, right? And it wasn't just wrestling magazines. I mean, people did it with music magazines, where they cut out their favorite bands and such and put them on the wall. They would do it with, I remember the old 17 magazines and YM magazines. A lot of girls would do that. They would take out the photos of the movie guys or whatever, or the TV guys that they had crushes on, right? We did that as kids and teenagers. We would get our magazines, look at them for a time being, and then get to the point where we destroy them and never can look at them again, because everything is just cut up and beat up with them. And then we get older, like me right now, and we rebuy all these magazines at a much higher price than what we originally paid for them back then, when if we would have just left them all in perfect shape, we wouldn't have had to rebuy them to begin with now, would we? It's kind of like telling myself there how stupid I was. But you know what? We didn't realize that back then. We just had fun as kids and as teenagers doing that stuff. So now I have those two. So they will go over here, right there in that empty spot. I'm going to have to put that Bret in a sleeve and cardboard. I'm also getting low on sleeves and cardboard, so I'm going to have to purchase that down the road. And definitely, I need those, because now that I'm doing this, I can't stop. I also have, while I'm doing this, because why not? It's a fun day to do a video of just random nonsense. I have all these loose magazines right now that I'm going to be selling eventually, and taking that money and putting it back into the magazine fund by rebuying more magazines. I have, let's see how many loose ones here. I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 13? I think so. 13 or 14, I think, is here. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 13 magazines, all loose. Going to be putting up, I'm going to sell them on Marketplace or something. Not high money either. That's the thing, right? Like, this is so, I'm really going to put them up $5, maybe 10 for the ones with posters in them if they're going for big money on eBay. Just because I think that's stupid if they are going for big money, because I'll just let them go for $10, which is way cheaper and much more simpler than having them on eBay. I have sold magazines on eBay before, and it's kind of a hassle because you have to mark them up because eBay has to take a little bit of that money because that's what they do. And then, of course, it sucks too on eBay because your items get taxed. So whoever buys on eBay, they're also paying tax on the item, which is kind of funny because I think like most eBay sellers, if they're not actual stores where they're actually selling their merchandise from stores as well as on eBay, they're just people. It's like regular Joes like me and anyone else who's selling on there, who's just selling their own personal collection just to get some money or to get rid of the stuff because it's cluttering. And unfortunately, now our stuff's getting taxed, and the tax doesn't go to me, and it doesn't go to the person buying it. It goes to the government somehow, which makes, that makes so much sense. So, at least on Marketplace, it's simple. It's just if you sell something for $10, it's $10. The shipping on top of that, sure. Shipping's probably $15 if you want tracking, and probably like $8 if you don't want tracking. I prefer the tracking method because A, you get it faster, and B, you know where it's at. I don't know. I always am hesitant to sell and ship out magazines free of without tracking because if something goes wrong, they could say they didn't get it, even if they did get it, and demand that you pay them back the money they sent you because, there's no proof because there was no tracking. So I always try to do tracking because unless it's nearby and someone can come pick it up, that's cool. So yeah, that's it. I have those two now, the variant and the normal one. Honestly, I really don't know which one the variant is. I always thought that one right there was the variant. But from what I understand from people I've talked to online, that one's the variant because they've never seen it or they don't have it. They have this one. So I don't know. It is what it is. I know in Canada, that one with Brett giving Jean-Pierre Lafitte the backbreaker was seen in stores. And that one over there was probably clearly sent out, as you can tell by the sticker, as the mail away version where you had to subscribe to it to get it. So whatever, it doesn't matter. I got both. The insides are the same, so I don't really care. The stories are the same, whatever. It's always the cover is different. And me being ridiculously dumb like that, I had to have both covers. All right, guys, I'm thinking about doing a fun one this weekend. It might take a little work to do, but I'm thinking about doing a look back at WrestleMania 3 because it is WrestleMania season coming up in a few weeks, even though it doesn't feel like it because WWE kind of sucks anymore with their build up to events, including WrestleMania. It doesn't seem like it did even 10 years ago. It felt more exciting then than it does now. And because I think now the TKO way of doing things is, hey, you're going to watch it anyhow because it's WWE. Well, not necessarily. If it doesn't interest me, I'm not going to watch it. And no matter how long I've watched wrestling for, eventually things change. So, but I'm thinking about doing the WrestleMania 3 one. Just going through the covers of the magazines, through the WWF, through the Pro Wrestling Illustrated and the sister publications I have of it. I think it might be a fun little adventure to go through and check out for a video. And I guess that's what my weekend consists of. So thanks for tuning in today. Thanks for watching this one. Let me know which WWF magazine you have in your collection or had in your collection. Did you have the one on the right with Bret Hart giving Jean-Pierre Lafitte a backbreaker? Or did you have the one on the left with Bret Hitman Hart and the kids checking out the America Online computer in the cyberspace? That's huge. The internet is a rockin' in 1995. All right, guys, until I do my next one, I'll talk to you later.